Welcome to Ballers Union Chicago edition. We're coming to you live right after the Bears versus Rams game. It was a very interesting game. A lot of things to talk about. I'm here with my co-host Jay Rizzo from Rizzo Rant. Uh, would you like to start this off tonight?
Well, we kind of saw it coming. Let's start there. You know, Bears, even though they're 5-1, even the team was talking about playing ugly. And tonight they played ugly. They played bad. They got outcoached. Uh, a punter was beating them from the Rams. I would say he was probably the best player in the game on both teams. And I don't know if that's just because I don't know what the hell Ted Ginn was doing out there, but he would not be allowed to do punt or kick returns for me anymore because I don't know how you don't have one fair catch in any of these. But yeah, it was just overall really bad performance on all sides. Defense didn't get helped out by the offense doing bad, and then Matt Nagy just he got in his own head. It seemed like it was even more bad Nagy than we're even used to. In the other games, he was bad, but man, in this game, he was awful. And like you said before, he usually has McVay's number actually when they play the Rams. This is one guy that he's done well against. And, they were considered at least 2 years ago one of the up and coming two head coaches and all that. But man, tonight, if you didn't think the Bears were bad at being coached, or you didn't think Matt Nagy was a not so good football manager, tonight you got to see it.
Right.
And he
Prime
did
time.
not disappoint.
Right. Right. On prime time. Yeah, like I've been saying it for a while now. I'm not a fan of Matt Nagy. He's great at developing plays, but as far as managing game, making adjustment, knowing game time situations or what to do in certain situations, he fails at it. You know what I'm saying? We got bailed out because of a penalty because he went for it on fourth down. We was inside our 20 early in the game. We was only down by a score. That made no sense. And then another time he missed out on calling a timeout, which would have forced the Rams to punt. And granted, it was only a few seconds left in the half, but you got Cordell Patterson back there. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. Or you got this Super Bowl amazing defense. They could have got a block or something. You got to at least give it's all about giving your players more opportunities to succeed, and he doesn't do that at all.
That was like the beginning of he wasn't having a good first half at all, but it was only a 7-point game. It was 3-10, and you have this timeout. Why not call it? Make them punt. Yes, the punter's been doing really well, but still, give your team all the chances you can. It's a 7-point game, and you had that happen, and then second half, and then at one point, you get in the red zone and you took Jimmy Graham out of your lineup when you got in the red zone, and it was like,
Right.
what the hell did you sign the guy for if you're not going to play him when he's in the red zone? That was like his biggest thing. That's the reason you got him. You want him as a red zone target, and then you take him out in the red zone, and then, of course, the next play, Nick Foles throws an interception, and it's just like, what was he doing today?
Right. Yeah, and another thing, too, you talking about tight ends, we spent a second-round pick on Komet, and he started off the game with an amazing catch. You know what I'm saying? Made an amazing play on a broken play. And then he had one other target and another target, another catch. After that, and that was it. We didn't use him ever again. We're using, like this guy Harris, we use Harris more than we use Komet. It makes no sense to me. Harris, some dude you found off the streets, off a practice squad.
Oh, man, I was on, Bears Twitter when the game was going on, and they were all saying the same damn thing. Like, what is up with this Harris dude? Why is he in? What is he good for? What's his use? Like, they didn't understand it. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Jimmy Graham's blocking is great or anything. And to see Harris in there on a goal line set, whatever. I mean, you have 10 tight ends. You must know what you're doing with some of them. Or you just have a bunch of them and you just throw them out there to see what happens. You know, that's what it seems like it goes right now with this coaching staff. Because also, these damn penalties, man. The Bears have the most defensive penalties of any team I just saw for this season. And, like, I knew we had gotten penalized a lot, but, like, I didn't know we had become the Oakland Raiders. Jesus Christ, like, what's going on? And penalties are all on coaching, I feel.
Yeah, that's definitely on coaching, undisciplined. There was one situation where we had double penalties. We had roughing the passer, and then the rookie had another penalty against of Johnson, which I really like Johnson, and I like how he plays. But
Me
he's
too.
getting a lot of mental errors, which I think could be easily be fixed with proper coaching.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I saw the penalties last week from him, and I'm like, man, they're going to have to fix that up. Then he gets called for another one today, and it's just like, wow, so you didn't go over anything that happened last week, I guess. Like, last week didn't matter?
Right, right. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with this team. Like Ted Ginn, I don't understand his role or why he's even on the Bears roster. I don't know what he's doing there. I guess he's just collecting a check. I don't understand when we have our offensive line is built on mostly power. They're not finesse or nothing like that. And it's like, short yardage. You think running down their throat or have your power back. He likes to call sweep plays and toss plays and these gimmick plays.
Man,
oh my goodness.
That Cordero Patterson garbage, man. I hate it so much. And the reason I hate it is not that I don't like Cordero Patterson. I think he's a great weapon. I think he can be a good kick returner. I think he could even be like a solid, wideout in this offense. But at the same point, you bring him out, you do the same stuff with him every time. So when a team sees Cordero Patterson, they know exactly what's coming because you don't try to use him as a decoy. You don't try to fake it to him. No, he gets the ball when he comes in every time. So when they ran that play on that fourth down, it's like, well, yeah, it got shut down because Cordero Patterson was in. The defense just all went to wherever he was going.
Right, right. And the same thing, and I also noticed that too late in the game in the red zone, like you could tell he was keen on Jimmy Graham. And they're just like, okay, so everybody in the building knew that Jimmy Graham's getting the ball. So they just go ahead and put, what's his name? Ramsey on him. And then the other play where he took it was 4th and goal, where he took the sack. It was the play took too long for him to develop. You had Jimmy Graham going across the field, and he was only looking at him the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and just to, go off all this stuff, I mean, for me personally, it starts with the coaching in this game. That's the biggest thing that lost it for us. But, yes, Nick Foles was very bad in this game. I mean, it was to a point when it got to 24-3 that I turned to my wife and I said, man, are they thinking about putting in Mitch? Is Mitch going to come back? Like, if he blows it? And then, yeah, he had gotten it back down onto the red zone, and they didn't get it on the 4th down. And I'm like, man, do they go to the Mitch? But at the point, too, it's like it looked like the game was over, and everybody had kind of given up. So I don't know if it made sense for me, but this offense hasn't been any different since Nick Foles has taken over. I know
right.
And like I said, we agree that it's mostly the coaching more than anything. But at the same time, I don't think Nick Foles gives you anything extra like Mitch does with his legs. At least with Mitch, he can make some extra plays with his legs, and especially with how bad this offensive line is playing right now and injuries. And I saw another one go out at the end there, I think it was Whitehair had gotten injured at the end of the game too. So, your whole offensive line is in shambles. So right now, I don't know if you really want Foles out there. You kind of need somebody that's going to be able to get outside the pocket because you're not going to get a clean pocket and Nick Foles is not going to do that. So I don't
Right,
know. I
right.
don't know. Maybe you start hearing. I mean, after this game, I think we're going to hear a lot of things from Chicago media and a lot more stuff about what's going on with Nagy. The 5-1 was great, but I know most of us that have been watching it was ugly, so we definitely were worried, and we had to play a really good defense today, and they walloped us, and the offense couldn't do anything either.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. Talking about Nick Foles, I saw earlier in the game they were calling rollout plays for him, which makes no sense because he's the least mobile quarterback, least mobile QB in the entire league. The one advantage that Nick Foles had over Mitch Trubisky was his able to go through his progress or read the defense faster than Mitch. You know what I'm saying? And tonight, he wasn't able to pick up the zones, blitz, or anything. Like I want to know who's in charge of pass protection. Like, because there was one play where Mooney embarrassed Ramsey and got wide open,
Oh yeah,
and they call it protection. Like they just put all the protection on the right side, and they just left one linebacker or one blitzing. It was not even. It was a 4-man rush, and he was just by himself on the left side with no protection. Like they just put like triple team or 4 guards on Donald. That's unacceptable. I want to know who's in charge of pass protection. I want to know who makes those calls because I don't remember it being this bad when Mr. Trubisky was at quarterback. Obviously, he's more mobile. He extends plays, and that's key, especially in today's NFL. Extending plays is the new wave now. But at the same time, is Mitch better picking up blitzes or calling out blitzes and changing the blocking assignments than Nick Foles? We'll find out. Or because we definitely know Nick Foles is better picking up the coverage, but him picking up these blitzes, it was horrible, horrible.
yeah. Like I said, ugly game all around. Not really a whole lot of thing to be positive about. I'll give the defense a little bit of credit. When they went down 24-3, they came back. They got a strip fumble, scored it on a touchdown. That kind of got some momentum going their way. But then obviously Nick Foles blew it in the red zone again on that one. That's when he missed it on 4th down. So it was like even the little bit of momentum that they would get, the offense would blow it, or then if the offense blew it like and did a 3 and out, then the defense was tired, and there was a point where it looked like the defense gave up on this game. That one drive where Malcolm Brown. Also, I'll say this: I thought that was just a horrible call. I don't know how that play was stopped. The guy was stopped at the 5. I don't know how they let him just keep going, but whatever. You let them run down your throat that whole drive, and it was just like I thought they gave up on that game. But then we had the nice little drive on offense, but then he threw the interception. But maybe that got the defense going a little bit. So if there's one little thing, at least I saw like the defense can get back in, can make a big play for us, which they've been doing all season. Red zone defense today was okay. We did give up a touchdown. We finally gave up a touchdown that was longer than 10 yards, passing-wise, in the red zone. But the penalties, man, the penalties are ridiculous to me because that's stuff you can do in practice. That's just all coaching, and it pains me to keep seeing penalties. We start the game off with penalties, and you're in the hole already.
Right. Right. Yeah, and we see like you said earlier, it doesn't matter who's the quarterback. We're seeing the same thing. We don't score in the third quarter. We're not even getting field goals in the red zone. We had 2 red zone opportunities, and both of them one was turnover on downs, one was an interception. The defense, like you said, they were gassed. They look gassed, but at other times they look great too. Like Akeem Hicks. Saying is great. He's the second most double team defensive lineman in the league. Number 1 goes to obviously Aaron Donald. But if you got Akeem Hicks is the second most double team, you got Khalil Mack, like they should always be lined up next to each other. And that's not always the case. I don't know why they put Mack in coverage. Then there was then I saw Quinn in coverage. I'm like, this dude was paid to rush the quarterback. Why is he in coverage? And they threw a little toss play to the running back, and Quinn got his ankles broken. He got shook out of this world. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
like
And
you
that's not
said,
his fault.
he shouldn't be in coverage.
Yeah, he shouldn't be in coverage. That's not his fault. He gets paid to rush the quarterback. That's what he do. But overall, the entire D line did great. They're all making plays. Every last one of them, from Nichols, Harris, Mario Edwards Jr., Mack, even Quinn. Even Quinn, he got that strip fumble that led to a touchdown. So the
Yeah.
entire defensive line was making plays and doing their job. The secondary, saying for the most part, were doing their job. They did. The defense played great. They was just out there too long. The offense didn't give us no opportunity to do nothing. The offense didn't score no points. You know what I'm saying? The defense scored the only touchdown the Bears had today.
Yeah. Yeah, they did score the only touchdown for sure. And
Yep.
if we wouldn't have got that touchdown, I mean, like even with that touchdown, score was 24-10 in the game. But if you watch this game, man, it never looked close. First half was first half 10-3. I was like, okay, we still got a shot. But then,
Right.
as soon as that third quarter started and the way they looked, I was just like, woof, we ain't coming back in this one. Just we can't. Nick Foles missing Mooney on that shot, missed a couple other shots that he had. I'm
He
not
missed
gonna.
Mooney a few times.
He was. It was. He didn't get to set his feet. I'll give him that, and it's a bad line. But those are throws you got to make, especially the one on Ramsey. The one on Ramsey, you just had to lay it up there. It was because he had him beat so bad.
Yeah,
But
and not even that one. Like that one was that was because you could blame the line or whoever said the pass protection to just block one side of the field and forget like they literally just only blocked the right side and forgot about there's the left side. But also in the first quarter he missed Mooney as well. The ball placement on that pass where Mooney had the defense beat again.
yeah, I mean, I do. If there's one thing on offense that you can look a little bit as a bright spot is that they have started recognizing that they need to try to get the ball to Mooney, which is good because the kid's been playing so well, and he's beating corners left and right, and he beat one of the best ones tonight in Jalen Ramsey. So I hope that that's something going forward. Whoever the QB is or whatever this offense is going to do, you need to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. So Mooney right now looks like a guy that needs to get the rock a little bit more.
Right. And then you talking about Nick Foles not setting his feet, and you saying it was pressure. I say that whole fourth quarter, he looked. He reminded me of Jay Cutler when he was shell shocked when we didn't have an offensive line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Jay Cutler would just start having happy feet and just start throwing the ball, even though he had time. That's how Nick Foles looked in that fourth quarter. He just looked shocked, out of sync.
It can get frustrating back there. And I remember when Jay was a QB, and yeah, he would get pissed off. So he would just start chucking it because he just couldn't take it anymore. And you've seen it. I've seen it with Aaron Rodgers in that game against Tampa Bay last week. Same thing. You get pissed off. You're just like, well, whatever. I'm going to throw it because I'm not getting hit anymore. I'm just going to chuck it, and whatever happens, happens. I'm done getting hit. But at the same point, they got to do something about this offensive line. It's not just going to fix itself. Just like last season, you got to get something going. You got to coach them up during the week. You got to get your game plan implemented. This run game's got to get going. I don't want to call Montgomery a bust, but what I was seeing today was a runner that did not feel right in making any decision. He didn't look right in making a cut right, left, juke, nothing. He got the ball and he didn't know what to do with it. And that was on runs, that was on catches. So I don't know if he's just got the feeling of this offensive line being so bad or been taken out of games so much, but they got to get this kid going because they don't have any other running backs.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's more so of he's not in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? He's still a young player. Nobody in his offense can get in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like every time Montgomery touches the ball, he's shocked that they even call his number. You know what I'm saying? Even Allen Robinson looked surprised that they threw the ball deep to him in the fourth quarter when he caught that 40-yard bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So everybody is like dazed and confused on this offense. Is like we hired Matt Nagy. You fired John Fox and hired Matt Nagy because he was this self-proclaimed offensive guru. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't hired to run, like he said, he wasn't hired to run the I formation and run the ball. So, okay, so what was you hired for? Because right now, the Bears are in bottom half in every offensive stat category. This also was the case as last year as well. And this offense is no better than a John Fox run offense.
Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind because, go back 3 years, that first year, what you saw from the offense, what you saw from the Bears, it was like, man, we got something going here. We got a nice, good head coach here now. He's got a good system. But last year, now going into this year, it's just like the regression that I've seen from that first season of his. It just blows my mind. Like, I don't know what the hell happened if he got so high and mighty of that great first season that he didn't feel like he needed to get any better or change anything. He's sadly mistaken, and you can ask Sean McVay about that. He's had to change up how he's done, and he definitely coaches differently than he did when he started with the Rams. You have to adjust in football because teams adjust to you if they're good.
Right. Yeah, Sean McVay adjusted so much that he literally fired his whole coaching staff. He got some new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams coach. So, you know what I'm saying? He's at least, he doesn't have the ego of Nagy because Nagy thinks he's just perfect. Nagy won't even give up play calling that's another story.
That's something I think going forward that I think is going to get a lot of talk on sports radio and through Chicago media this week is the play calling. It's bad, and it's been bad for going on 2 years now. So I think it might be something worth a shot. It's either that or he's got to adjust during the game to like what's going on, which he has done in a few games this year compared to last year. It didn't look like he adjusted at all. But, man, in this game, yeah, there was no adjustments really on any side of the ball, I thought. And, it was ugly, man.
Right. Yep, a couple of fun facts. The Bears' history are only known for 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. One won the Super Bowl in McMahon, and the other one is Mitch Trubisky, which I always say is talented enough to win the Super Bowl with this team if we had the right coaching staff.
Yeah, we definitely have been QB stricken. You know, all these other teams, especially a team like Packers in our division, have just been blessed with great quarterback after great quarterback after great quarterback, and the Bears just have never had it. You know, I mean,
Right.
Cutler, if he would have had the right coaching staff and an offensive line, I still say that he could have actually done something. And he did. We did get to an NFC championship at least once with him, but never had offensive line, never had an offensive coordinator stay with him long enough. Mitch, I don't know, man. I think that one might have sailed, and I wouldn't blame him if he told him to piss off, really, after benching him. But we'll see this week if they try to go back to Mitch. Maybe that'll be interesting.
Right. Well, at this point, they just need to trade for. Again, like I said, Nagy doesn't know how to build up players. Nagy needs somebody that fits his system. So who knows? We might trade for Matt Ryan and win the Super Bowl. I don't know. But all those quarterbacks, it's been 51 different quarterbacks to bear since the Super Bowl era.
And they've all, like I said, most of them, it's like they sucked. You don't even remember half of them. I mean, one year we went 13-3. Our quarterback was Jim Miller. Yep.
Oh, man.
Big old Jim Miller, that the stuff on the news, man.
Right. Don't forget the 10-2 Rex Grossman.
Hey, we did get to the Super Bowl that year, and I think we lost that. It wasn't because of him, but I also don't think we lost that Super Bowl because of him, like people like to do. They do the same thing that they did with Mitch, that they did with Grossman, that they did with Mitch. I don't think he was the reason we lost that Super Bowl. There was bad play calling in that one too. Lovie Smith got out coached by his mentor in Tony Dungy, and that's the reason we lost that game. But other than that, yeah, it's like you think about our QBs, and it's not that, I don't know if we've not cared about it or we just haven't been lucky, but man, we need some better scouting of QBs because we
Right.
just don't seem to hit ever. The Cutler move shocked the hell out of me when we traded for him. I'm like, oh man, we're actually trading for a good quarterback. But then you never got a line around him, and then you never kept an offensive coordinator, so you wasted that one.
Right.
And then Mitch, yeah, I didn't like the
Mitch,
draft pick when we did it. There was no point for it. That Watson was the guy I wanted the whole time, but that's nor here nor there. And Nick Foles now, I mean, he's not going to be I think everybody knows he's not going to be a savior. He's an older guy, so he's not going to be your QB of now. But I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what this team does after this loss, because now we're 5-2, so still a good record.
Next week. Yep.
And you get the Saints next week, who've won 3 in a row, look like they've righted their ship. That's a tough game. The schedule only gets tougher for us as the year went on. We always said that. So they needed to get off to like a 5-2, 5-6 start. We said that if they wanted any chance. But after this loss, it's going to be interesting to see what happens inside that locker room. And if people start talking about, man, this guy doesn't know how to coach, like what the hell's going on? We might have a situation like the Cowboys are having right now. Now, the Cowboys, they're 2-5, so we have the opposite record of them. So the locker room's probably not going to get too crazy right now. But if we look bad again next week, get our butts whooped again.
Yeah. The locker room's already coming up. So Nick Foles admitted or stated that Matt Nagy's out here calling plays that, and he knows the play call. Nick Foles not an idiot. But he knows he doesn't have enough time to execute that play. And these are the plays Matt Nagy's calling. So that's just that's just going to start the slippery slope. So,
but you would think that Nick Foles is been in the league long enough that he would audible out of that or something. So it's a little
audible out. Like what I'm saying, because I know Mitch Trubisky didn't have the authority to audible out. So again, is Mitch Trubisky really that bad? Or is Matt Nagy the cause for all his downfall?
I mean, like I told you before, I've always thought that it was 50-50 last year. Mitch did not play well, but it also was horrible game planning. Now, like a game like today, yes, Foles was bad, but me personally, 75% of the reason we lost this game today was Matt Nagy.
Right.
And then I give like another 20% to the offensive line just being god awful, But other than that, Mitch and him, I don't know, man, because that first season you saw with him, like, he obviously knew what he was doing with Mitch, but it's like he decided to totally change it up the next year, which I don't know what he was thinking. So
right.
He had a good system with him that first year. He got the best out of Mitch. Mitch was a Pro Bowler that year, We were 12-4. We were in the playoffs, but after that playoff game, it was like everything switched, and he decided to try to make Mitch a totally different quarterback.
Right. Been downhill ever since. Yep.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what they're going to do about that. I mean, NFL's best, if you best think about it week to week, crazy stuff happens every week, but this is not a good loss, and the team's not going to feel good about it. They definitely, and like I said, they go right into another team that's playing well right now in the Saints. So it's the NFL, man. You're going to keep playing teams that are good. So you can't dwell on this for too long.
Yep.
But
we still got to pay the Packer twice.
Right. It's not going to shock me if it starts falling apart. We said it. Even though they were 5-1, they had a chance where they could have lost every game. They could have been 0-6. There was every opportunity for the other teams they were playing in all those games to win every game.
Right.
So you give teams chances to win. Some of these games are going to start not going your way. And today wasn't even that. The Rams just got you. And McVay just ran circles around Nagy today.
Right, right. Yep. So yep. That's pretty much it. You got any closing remarks?
I'm gonna do my same one again because we're only a week away. You guys got to get out there and vote, man. I did it today. Made my vote early. I don't care who you vote for, but everybody should be using this right that they have to get out there and vote. You know, every election is very important. This one is extremely important, but get out there and vote, and keep your eyes out on what happens in your town and your cities too. Keep your eyes on those elections as well. You should be voting for everything that you can because it everything affects you where you live unless you live on an island or in a forest like by yourself. So
Right,
you guys need to get out there and make sure that you get people in there that are doing stuff that is going to help your family and your needs.
right, right. Yep. And I want to shout out to Ron Rivera. You know what I'm saying? He was over there battling cancer. His family. I think he lost a brother to cancer, and he was out there battling cancer due to this pandemic. Also took out a new job. He's a new head coach for the Washington football team, which is currently tied for second or first place. I don't know. That division's all messed up.
Oh, in the NFC East, everybody's up for grabs. But yeah, I think since they beat Dallas, they're both 2-5, so they're in second place.
Right. So, um, yeah, just battling cancer is a feat in itself. Then on top of that, you had a new work environment, a new job. I'm saying that's another hurdle in life. And then you're doing all that through a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? You're out there. You're out there. You didn't take no days off. You're out there traveling with the team. You're out there still coaching with your compromised immune system because of the cancer. And he's out there pushing, fighting. He beat it, man. So hopefully it doesn't come back. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everything goes well for him. Clean bill of health. And just let you know that, like, hey, man, even through all this craziness, there's some good that's still happening. Put in the work.
Yep.
Yep. And then on that, guys, we're going to be out of here.